Hi, welcome again. This is a live demo where I talk about the Autoless material comes with OpenLand. Recently, I made a video about how to create an auto blending landscape using the editor, using the Terrain Magic plugin. So basically, if you think about your landscape material, it seems it will be super simple like this. We have sort of layer blends, and then you have some grass stuff, and all the blending, all the mixing each paint layer, and the paint layer is done inside the editor using a plugin called Terrain Magic. And there are some ways you can do this even with the Landmass plugin. So I'm going to talk more about these Autoless material, why I think it will be useful. I'm not saying it's the only way that you can use. Of course, OpenLand still comes with the auto material by default. You can use that. But there are some interesting uses of this material, and I'll talk about that in this tutorial. So I made some notes over here. I'm going to explain a couple of, I think I can cover all of these things in this video. So this is mostly unedited video. So I'll add some notes and timestamps so you can skip into each and other part. So that's possible. So let's get started. So if you want to know about how I created this landscape using this Autoless material, I have a tutorial on that. Check the description below. So we're using a plugin called Terrain Magic. So that's something we create. So we can mix this Autoless material and Terrain Magic and create something interesting. And even I said this Autoless material, so you don't need to use OpenLand. So that's why I'm explaining this today. So you can use this as a way to customize OpenLand. Also, if you want to create your master material from scratch, of course, you can use this as a base. So first thing is, I think, so I need to explain a little bit of why I think this is important. All right, the thing is now everything inside the material is basically some sort of like paint layer. So basically it defines like what are the textures gonna look like and so on. And then inside the editor you can actually mix them as you wish. For example, here we have like a sand patches here and there, and for example I added some like edge noise into this area. So let me remove that. Right, it's not that you can see there's a little little difference, and I can change that. Like I can reduce that, and I can easily change how it looks like. And I mean, like, there are so many customization you can do right inside here, and I do everything inside the editor, so I don't need to touch my landscape. And it looks like it's very like easy to think about if you're doing in this way. So that's number one. Another thing is you have separate paint layers for, I mean, like you have the sand layer over here, we have the ground layer over here. There is no auto mask or anything. So you can easily access these paint layers inside you from your blueprints. And then you can add like foot animations, I mean foot sounds, and maybe some VFX, so quite easily with that one. And also there are some ways you can access this paint layer information on other materials, for example grass material, and simply hide grass, so you don't need to use RVT. So that's a feature that I'm planning for Terrain Magic, and I'm going to release it quite soon, but if you're watching this couple of times later, and it will be already available. Check the documentation of Terrain Magic for grass hiding. So there are a lot of possibilities that we can have with this, and that's why I'm rooting for these Autoless material and how you can do this editing like this. So that's the whole idea. And also like the material looks super clean, and I can do a lot of customization based on this, and yeah, I like it. That's some of the benefits of using the Autoless material. Let's give it a try. Right, and here we need to use alpha layers. So what are the alpha layers? So basically, if you're doing a layer blend in your material, so basically this is how you define paint layers. So if you so this is the base, remove grass. I can define them over here. Then I can define some blending options. So there are a couple of blending options: alpha blend and weight blended and height blended. Here usually we use weight blended. So those are the normal painting that. So when you have a weight blended paint layer, so when you paint something on top of that, it removes the existing paint layer and it replaces with the new one. So if you use an alpha blended layer, basically it doesn't remove anything, it paints on top of that. So here you can have some sort of like opacity and it's nicely blending with the other material. So it's very interesting. Like it won't remove the existing material behind the scene, behind the existing material, but you paint on top of that. I don't see any benefit over the other, but this is how the Unreal works. And here we have a feature called Unreal, something called edit layers. If you go over here and I can search for edit layers. So when you enable edit layers functionality, you have a couple of other options in Unreal Engine. For example, let me open the landscape tools. Where it is? All right, here landscape tools. Here we have a couple of options, like we have blueprint brushes and we have edit layers. You can group these painting into separate layers, for example. Yeah, you can see, right? So all this functionality comes with this edit layers functionality. So edit layers works really well with alpha layers. So that's why our Autoless material uses alpha layers, alpha blended layers. So that's the only reason, I guess. That's why we use. So you can use this pretty nicely with Terrain Magic and also the built-in landmass and water plugin as well. Right. So I think I explained about alpha blended. Yeah, that's fine. And also I need to talk about one more thing. If you go to the landscape tools, and then here you need to select like a paint layer, a LayerInfo file. So before you do painting in OpenLand Autoless material, we provide some existing layer files. You can use them. For example, for the let's say something like let's say something top, and we provide like Autoless top layer info. You need to use this. If you use top layer info, it's something else. It doesn't work. So when you select this, it will mention no weight blend over somewhere here. So basically we say like it's not a weight blended layer. So if you select something like top layer, so this is something comes with some other landscape material. I think it's from the OpenLand default section. It won't show you the no weight blended, but now you are totally screwed. So basically your layer is alpha layer, but you are keeping as a weight blended layer. It doesn't work. So you need to select the Autoless top layer info. So that's why you're doing it. If you don't have that, you can create custom one. For example, you can also create one. So when you're creating that, make sure to create a non-weight blended layer. So that's the other thing you need to keep it in mind. Right. All right. I think we're done here, and let me see other node. All right. So it's really important, like before you trying to edit and customize your master material. So if you can also edit here the default material instance, and but the problem is when we OpenLand, when we submit a new update, we do it quite often, like couple of releases per every month. So all your changes are gone. So it will be really important, like copy this material and put it in a different place. So then you can work on without breaking. Updates won't break your project. So let me show how to do that. It's quite easy actually. So here first so basically when you are creating your landscape, you might have assigned the landscape material. So let me find my material. So basically this is the default material comes with OpenLand, MI OpenLand Autoless. Right, cool. So I'm going to open that. I have already opened that. This is my material instance. I can scroll to the bottom, and then we have the parent, the master material. I can double click that. You can see this. Right. So then you can go to the browse section over here. You can locate where the project is, where the file is. Cool. So then what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to right click and duplicate this. So let's say m underscore my Autoless. Right. So this is my custom material. And then you need to bring these into some other directory. For example, I have another content browser over here. Content, I'm going to create a new directory called my Autoless. So you don't need to be this specific, like you can give it a name you like. Right, now I'm going to drag that, I'm going to put it over here. Okay, so I think it's easier. I'm going to drag this my Autoless over here. Okay, and then you're moving that, after you drag that, simply click move here. Right, now we have this, and then I need to create a material instance from this, so I can use with my landscape material. But don't right click and create a material instance. If you do that, you have to set all the textures by yourself, and it's going to be a tough thing to do. So before so what my suggestion is, like, we have this like existing material instance. Browse, click browse and go to the location. Okay, it's over here. So I think yeah, okay, that's fine. So we have this, and so let me bring it over here right now. Okay, material instance, right click and duplicate that. So give it a name like my Autoless. Then drag it over into this place. This your other directory that you created, my Autoless. Move here and double click and open that. So you have all the settings over here, and then scroll to the bottom, and you have this parent is the default Autoless material we have. So simply change that into m_my Autoless. So this is the material that we created right now. Right, I'm gonna save this. All right, and looks good. Now we have everything we need, and I'm gonna use this as my landscape material, my Autoless. I'm gonna select this, go to the landscape material, and go to the details panel, and simply click this arrow. It will change it to my Autoless. Right, everything should work because it's just the same thing with the different location. So I can save it, and I can even try to like play my game. Yeah, looks really nice. All right, now everything okay, that's fine. We are 80% done. We have one more thing to do, and let me show you. And we need to get these grass directories over here as well. It's quite easy. Go to OpenLand, grass, and we have directory called Autoless. So this is where all the Autoless grass exist. I'm gonna move those grass into a folder over here. I'm gonna right click and create a new directory or folder called Autoless grass actually. So I'm gonna double click and open that, and I'm gonna bring all these grass type files into this new location. So here, click move here. This is quite important. You need to set up move here, otherwise things will be complicated. So it might work, but you have to change things here and there, and it's not nice. Right, you can save this, and still you can see grass over here. Talk about duplicating the material and glass node, and we completed that. And next thing is layer painting basics with alpha layers. Yeah, I think let's do that. Let's go with the order. Right, then what I'm trying to do is I'm gonna delete all these paint layers that we did from the terrain magic, because so that's not the goal. Over here I'm gonna explain how did this our Autoless material work. So I'm gonna select all these things actors, and I'm gonna delete that. Right, it will remove all the painting, and it will yeah, it will show us just the yeah, this one. And you can see some grass over here. That's because like yeah, I think because of caching, I guess. Yeah, I think grass should be over here because yeah, because there's nothing over here, because I think it's maybe due to some let's reopen this project and it will change everything. Or maybe I can simply open this ground location. I can change some settings. I think then it will remove grass. Yep. So it will, because of the caching thing. And if grass are misplaced, and try to open that grass type file and change some settings, and it will clear up everything. Right, and this is the by default how it works, and let's go through that. And so we have a couple of layers over here, mud, ground, and blah blah blah. And by default the layer is the base layer, so the first one. And so when you are assigning a material, auto material, if you go to the Autoless material, whatever the material, landscape material, and then you have to select your paint layer, and if you select the first one, in this case base, and it will paint all my landscape with that one. So that's how you can see this. Also, you can actually select this paint layer, right click on that, and you can fill layer, clear layer if you want to do that. So I'm gonna do it because it takes some time. I don't want to spend that over here. Right, so now so it's a clean landscape. I'm gonna paint right now. So I talk about the none. So we need to select the Autoless, basically Autoless LayerInfo file, because it need to be no weight blenders, because we use alpha layers over here. It's quite important. So it's not this one actually. Actually, this one in my Autoless. Yeah, this is the material. So basically, it's the alpha layers. Right, if you do ground, is alpha layer. So okay, you get the idea. So then let's get my ground layer. You can get it, and so ideally you should paint this procedurally, but I'm gonna paint it by hand, because why not? So I can paint it like this. Right, so I put some grass over here. I can go out of the landscape mode, and yeah, you can see it's spawned some grass, because we have some settings to do so. That's why you see this. Right, and in order to make things clear, I'm gonna delete this grass type file. So this is I'll explain about grass in a moment, so I'm gonna delete it right now. Right, so we paint this whatever the ground layer on top of the mud or base layer. Okay, cool. And let's paint something on top of that. Go to landscape mode again. Here, let me select another layer called maybe sand layer. I'm going to select the sand layer, and I can paint it. So I can paint it on top of the existing layers. You get the idea, right? Right now, so we have the mud layer, base layer, and we have the whatever the ground layer, and we have the sand layer. Okay, cool. So we have a couple of layers over here. So let me show you something quite interesting. So now we paint sand, and let's get something like slope. So it's after the order. You think about order. It's after the ground layer, but it's in between the sand layer. Okay, you get the idea. The sand layer is in the bottom. I'm going to select the slope layer. I'm going to draw a line like this. Okay, it's not that nice looking, but you get the idea. I'm trying to explain something. So basically, it will paint on top of the mud layer. So because think about that, so base is on the bottom, and if you are painting on top of that, so the order-wise slope is on the top. And then if you go to the ground layer, so ground is behind the slope layer, it will paint on top of that. But if you talk about sand layer is after the slope, so it cannot go through that. So it in between that. So that's the nature how alpha layers works, and you need to play around this with. And this is a feature. It looks like a bug sometimes, but if you handle it carefully, and you can do very interesting things. For example, if you have a road kind of thing, you can put that into the bottom, and it won't get affected by all the like grass patches, or maybe some paint layer things that you like sand patches you do, and it won't go over your road. So think this. Yeah. So let's do something interesting. For example, let's say I have this slope layer, okay, the same texture, but I need to go over my sand area. So how can I do that? I know I cannot paint it like this, and it won't work, but there's a way to do that. Let me show you how to do this. Go to your I'm going to go out of my landscape mode, because sometimes it's kind of slow with that. Go to my Autoless material. So I'm going to create a new layer blend. Okay, interesting. Go over here, click this layer blend node, and you can add a new layer over here. Yeah, go to the bottom, and it will be really important. Like you need to put this. You can order this quite like this. You need to put this after the sand, and let's say, let's get a name like road, and then layer blend name should be alpha blended, right? And then you can simply bring your slope. So this is the slope layer that we painted. I'm going to bring same texture layer into over here. Correct. I'm going to save this. All right, I imagine it's got saved. All right, and then I can go to my editor, okay, and go to my landscape mode. Maybe I have to like restart my project in order to see these changes. Let me see. Yep, because I cannot see this new layer, road layer we added. It's totally fine. I'm gonna go to select mode. I'm gonna restart my project. Not the project, just the level. I think it was the tutorial. I'm gonna double click and open that again. All right, it's compiling some shaders. I think that's fine. Let's go to the landscape mode. And let me scroll to the bottom. Yeah, we have the road now. Nice. So now I need to create a LayerInfo file. So if you select that, there's nothing because we don't have something like that. But if you have a road in some other landscape material as a paint layer, and you should see something, but don't select them. Simply click this plus icon and select the non-weight blended layer. So you can put any place you like, but I like to use my Autoless directory. Inside that, I'm going to create a new folder called LayerInfo, and yeah, that's where this should go. Right, and I have created a LayerInfo file. I selected that. Now I can paint. I can select this. Now here, what I'm trying to do is now I'm gonna paint it like this. I think I need to reduce the brush size a little bit. Let's say 4,000. Oh no, not 40,000. Sorry, 4,000. Right, I'm gonna paint it like this, and it's quite slow because there are some shaders are compiling. I can't help it. Like anyway, I'm gonna so bad. I'm gonna paint it like this. Right, and let's wait for a moment. Right, things are getting better. Please. All right, get it. Okay, you got it. Like, okay, now this is the road paint layer, and it can go through the sand. So it's not actually road, it's just this soap texture, but it can go through the sand layer. So this order is, so basically it's based on this order. So this road is on the bottom, and you can paint it on top of that. So that's the everything about alpha layers, and it's a kind of feature. Like if you think about this carefully, and you can do very cool things with that. So here we are. So we talk, I think, everything about alpha layers. So I think I don't need to delete this. Like, can keep it like this. Yeah, it's kind of helpful. Even though we are, so let me show you some other tool that actually not planned, but I think it's quite important when you're working with alpha layers, is debugging your paint layers. Go to the landscape mode, and when you go to the lit mode, lit button, I don't know, it's a view mode, I guess, and there are some visualizers like quite important, and so something called layer usage. If you select that, it will show a number, how many layers are used. Over here, it's just one because that's the simple base layer. But if you think about here, there are 4 layers over here, makes sense? And there are 5 layers over here. So by doing that, you can easily see, all right, so there are a couple of things over here I can see. Okay, I need to focus on this area. We got 5 layers over here, something crazy and not expected. I haven't expected. Okay, let's debug that. Right, now we identify the place, but how can we see the individual layers? Of course, we have a tool for that. Again, go to this lit button and visualizers, and we have something called layer. I don't, there's only one layer contribution. Maybe I'm not quite sure about that. I'm going to select the visualizers layer debug. So it looks black by default, totally fine. But now if you see your paint layers, there's 3 buttons, RGB. You can select, you can visualize only 3 layers at a time. You can select your R, So it will select all the places you have this base layer. And then if you select the ground as a G, you get the idea. But in this case, I don't want the base layer because I know it goes all over with my landscape. There's no point I'm doing that. I'm going to select it to none. And I'm going to select the ground as the red, maybe grass. Degree is fine. And then I can select slope as the R. You can see it goes here. And then I'm going to select my sand as blue. Okay, see, you can see over here. So then you can check with these values and see, okay, where things are happening, and we can try to remove them and debug them and do anything after that. So this is a quite handy tool, and especially when you're working alpha layers, because you put multiple layers on top of that. All right, so this is it about it, and let's go to the other topic. So it's about layer painting, painting order. We talk about these things. Grass. Okay, cool. Right. I think it's good because we have this road layer as well, and so by default this is how the grass system works with the Autoless material. Comes with OpenLand. So it's quite simple, and we actually sample the ground. So here in UnrealEngine we have a node called landscape layer sample. Layer sample. Yeah, this one. So basically you can ask for the you can give any paint layer you have. In this case we selected ground, and then it will actually say in this pixel right now, and do we have the ground layer. If it is a ground layer totally, it will show you like 1. If not, it will give you like some other, like a fraction value 0.1 if there's a part of it, like that. Since we have the ground layer, we can see that. So here I use something interesting. I get the ground layer over here. Okay, if you put ground, we can spawn a grass over here. But any other, if you paint something on top of any other, something on top of the grass layer, any other layer, and then I'm going to remove grass. Also, we have a specific remove grass layer. You can paint something and it will remove the grass, but we get the idea. So if you put something on top of that and on the ground, it will remove the grass, and it's like a natural way we are doing it, but you can see you can easily change that. And then we have the grass output node. I think you're familiar with that one. So basically we can assign a mask, and then I can simply assign a grass type file and spawn some grass, and let's do something with that. Before we do that, I gonna show you how the grass system works. I'm gonna go to landscape mode, paint, and I'm gonna paint some ground over here. All right, I'm going to select mode again, and here we copied and duplicated some of the grass files. I'm going to select my Autoless ground. So basically it's the ground layer, so it will have this one, and you might find how the connection works. So it based on the name, not actually. So if you select over here on the grass output node, this is a ground mask, and the first one, 0th index. And here you can see a grass type file. It's exactly this file. So that's how the connection is made, not based on the name. So I'm going to double click and open that, and I can add some grass file. I know I'm using OpenLand mesh, OpenLand grass, and I have a grass file called sender. We can use any static mesh. There's no reason to put the one I use, which is also not the nice looking. Yeah, I can give some range, and yeah, I'm not going to explain too much on this because I think I talk about this in other tutorials, and there are a couple of people who explain these things quite interestingly. Right, now we have grass. So basically it's just like this. So it will spawn grass right on top of the hill. All right, this looks solid. Right, then if you paint any other layer on top of here, and it will remove grass. So you can go to the landscape mode, and there's something called remove grass. I'm gonna reduce the brush a little bit, and you can specifically paint. Okay, I need to select the LayerInfo first. Yep, and I can paint it. Okay, it's compiling stop. Yep. Okay, basically you can remove a specific area, and you can hold shift and you can paint it like this and you can get it back. Also you can right click over here, simply say clear layer. It will remove everything if you do that. Okay, that's one thing. And also if you paint something like this is sand, okay, let's wait until everything is all right. Yeah, it will remove the grass. So that's the default nature of how this works. But if you don't want that, it's quite simple. Like so I have put the sand like over here. I add that, so you can do that. Also you basically can completely get rid of the subtract, simply connect it like this. You don't need to saturate. But so now we are looking at the grass and we don't subtract anything, and you can save this material. Okay, let's wait until it saves everything. All right. Okay, why I think still company. Okay, get the idea. Like so let me go out of this landscape mode. All right. Okay, you can see now it paints. It doesn't look for any other layers and it simply paints. Okay, it's cool. I'm saying it's cool, but that's how it works. But I think I don't like it. So what I'm trying to do is I'm gonna actually I like it. Let's keep it like this way. So now I need to paint some things on my road layer. So you remember, like I put a road layer like this. I'm gonna put some grass on top of that. Okay, so maybe so first I'm gonna remove grass on top of that, and also I'm gonna put some other debris, some static meshes laying out of that. So let's do that. The first thing is I'm gonna remove grass. Quite easy. Remove the ground grass. So I can select something like right click, sample landscape. Yeah, we have the landscape layer sample, and this is the road, the layer paint layer name. So it will give me one if this is the paint layer. I mean road. I can put it over here. I'm gonna subtract, not subtract. Okay, sorry. I'm gonna remove and put it over here. So basically, if we have the road and we don't have the grass, the ground grass. All right, I wish everything is so faster, but this is definitely good, fast. All right, okay, right. Okay, now if you see like this, where's my road? Yeah, you can see grass over here, but not on the road. So this is how you can control it with the grass type file. Okay, nice. All right, so let's try to spawn some stuff on top of this this road. It's quite interesting. Not grass specifically, but maybe some stones and like that, things like that. So here's how we can do that. Here I'm gonna create a new grass output node. Is that what we say? Okay, anyway, I'm gonna right click. I'm gonna put the plus icon. I can give a name. I need to give a name like road. Okay, you get the idea. But then you need to have a layer grass type file. I can select that. I can create a new landscape type file. Okay, I can place it anywhere like. So since we're using my Autoless grass, I'm going to put it over here. I'm going to give it a name like, I'm going to select one of these, GT Autoless. I'm going to say it road. Save. Yeah, everything looks good. Okay, I need to basically like this. I need to sample the road. I can put it. So this is the mask. I'm gonna save it. Okay, now on my laptop, the reason is, I don't know, some other reason, it compiles things super fast in my laptop compared to my PC, which has a better configuration. I don't know, maybe something inside this laptop. Everything is so cool. All right, now we have this. I'm going to open the new file that we created, GT Autoless Road, and I'm gonna create this, and I'm gonna spawn something. I think I don't have anything specific. Let's spawn some spheres. Why not? Okay, this one I think it's quite large. I'm gonna set the max 0.1. Yeah, this is too much. Put 100. Sorry. You can see now we are spawning some spheres. I think I can increase the size a little bit. Yep. Here I'm going to put 0.3. All right. Now you can see spheres over here. It's only in my ground. I mean, only in my road. Yeah, it looks really nice. Yep. So that's yeah. So you can so instead of these spheres, you can put some debris like small rocks. You know, like you can have multiple of these static meshes and get something really interesting. All right, now I think I covered a lot of things about the grass, and I think now we have a clear idea of how everything works, and I think this is good. All sorted out. Now let's see what else on our list. Let me see whether we have some Megascan textures on this project. If we have, we're lucky. Content, Megascan, surfaces, no, we don't have anything. Do we? Okay, we have something. Okay, diffuse. Oh, right, we have something. Okay, cool. Let's work on that. Right, with OpenLand has a very interesting landscape Megascan integration tool. You can simply enable that by still selecting your landscape actor. Go to the details panel and search for dynamic material instance. This one. I'm gonna select the use dynamic material instance. You can save it if you like. Okay, and then go to the OpenLand directory, content, OpenLand. There's a directory called widgets. Inside the we have yeah, this one, OpenLand Megascan texture selector widget. All right, it's quite long name, but it's nice. I can dock it any I like. All right, why not? Let's put it out here. Yeah, why not? So then it's quite easy. I can change any textures I like. I have material layer. Let's simply change the sand. Okay, you can select any layer, custom one. We have custom one, custom two, without any actual materials. So the sand, I can select texture. We have a texture, and I can hit select. Voila! Now we have the this Megascan texture over here. It's quite easy. All you have to do is simply download a Megascan texture from the bridge into your project, and as soon as you did that, you will see it over here. You can select that, and there are some options you can do. You have a lot of options you can play around with this one. I'm not going to show it right now because I have a separate video on that. You can search for OpenLand Megascan texture, OpenLand Megascan in YouTube, or I think I'll add a link in the description as well. All right, we talk about that. All right, what else we have? Right, and about the auto material. All right, that's interesting. So here we all talk about like creating like Autoless material and trying to create everything auto materials things with the plugin like Magico Landmass plugin. But still, like, you can use auto material if you like. Yeah, I mean, you can. It's quite easy actually. So here with OpenLand, here's how we are working with auto materials. So let me open the our main master material, OpenLand Go directory, and we have something called materials, and I think we have m_OpenLand. So this is the master material. We do everything over here, and the auto material is this one. So basically we have two auto material like forest and the beach. So these are the two things that we ships it. But if you want to customize and try to see our multi-biome tutorial with OpenLand, and I also had a link in the description, but search for OpenLand multi-biome on YouTube, you'll see a video. And here I'm going to select the first one. Okay. So if you want to create more than 2, and so that's how you want to customize. I can simply copy this. I want to go over to my Autoless directory, not directory, but the material. Okay, I'm gonna paste it like this. Okay, I'll do it at the bottom. Okay, why not? It's be interesting to do it at the bottom. Okay, so here I'm gonna select a couple of layers. The ground is the ground for sure. All right, let's get some space. So I really like clean code. The mid, I'm gonna put the okay, yeah, mid layer. Why not? Why not? All right, and then about the slope. Yep, slope. It's cool. Now I can create a new layer blend. So yeah, you can technically use like weight blended if you're manually painting, but if you're using Terra Magic or some other tool, it's really interesting to use the alpha layers. Now I don't need to explain you about alpha layers because I think I did a really interesting job explaining that to you. Right, here I'm gonna say, okay, my auto, and about it, I think alpha blend. I'm gonna select the material here. I'm gonna save it, and so as soon as we cannot see this on the this page. I'm gonna landscape mode. I'm gonna restart my level. So tutorial, save everything, restart. Did it restart? Not yet, I guess. Okay, now it's done, and it's compiling stuff. Crazy. Anyway, I think I don't need to wait until that. Things will be slower. You don't need to wait. And so let's go to the landscape mode because this is the last thing we are doing. Right, and let me scroll. Yeah, so Epic has done really great stuff, but this landscape tool is really terrible in performance wise. You can see, yes, I mean, like, this is the era of like multi-threading, and yeah, this is like, I don't know, like 1995 stuff. Like, even those compiling stuff, you should have really fluid UI. Like, it's totally possible. Right, okay, let me see. We have the LayerInfo file. So this is another thing. I had to close this in order to see this. I think they simply ignored the landscape tool. Yeah. All right, now we have the my auto. I'm going to create a new LayerInfo file, non-weight blended, and you can save it anywhere like. I think we create Autoless. I'm going to speed up things. Okay. Right, I'm going to select this. Okay, my auto here. I think I'm going to create a big brush, like 10,000. No, not 100,000. 10,000. Right, then let's paint it on my landscape. Boom, like this. So I think it's quite slower because things are compiling here. All right, I'm gonna paint it like this. Okay, I'm gonna doing it anyway. I'm gonna do this. Right, now you can see it's an auto material. So even though I'm talking about Autoless materials, but you think the Autoless blending doesn't work for you, you can still use the auto material. And if you open the Autoless, I mean, like the my Autoless. Okay, where was it? I don't know. Right here, you have all the options to configure this blending. Yeah, auto forest. And I talk more about these settings in my auto like multi-biome video, and try to go through that if you're interested in tweaking it here. But I think doing it with the Terra Magic is quite easy, and I like it. But still, if you want to auto layer, you can totally do that. All right, I think we're done here. So let me see my notes again, whether we covered everything. We talk about the Autoless material, why I think it's good. Yeah. And the reason I'm doing is I'm planning a lot of features in the future with Terrain Magic, which is gonna work really well with these Autoless materials, because yeah, it is. And then we talk about alpha layers, okay, and then we talk about duplicating the material and glass node. Why? Because you can keep getting updates from OpenLand, and you can simply update it from the Epic app, and simply it will update the project, and you can continue work with the project. You don't need to like manually pick it here and things here and there. We don't have to do that. And then we layer paint with the alpha layers, and we talk about difference between alpha and non-alpha, and we talk about the painting order. I think I mix some of these things. Anyway, we understand those things, and we talk about grass, and also we add a custom grass layer and we customize that, and also we use the Megascan tool because we still can use it. I haven't used RVT, but the same process with our other OpenLand stuff. And customize the paint order. Yeah, we talk about that, and finally we talk about how to add auto material as well. Yeah, so I think we covered everything, and thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll come soon with some other interesting tutorial and also with some cool projects. All right, this is it. See you soon. Bye.